It's time for the hottest show in America. It's time for the Al Rucker Show, where you get the 411 from A to Z, special guests, and much, much more. So buckle up for a wild, wild ride. The Al Rucker Show starts now.
Thank you for tuning in to the Al Rucker Show. And I'm your host, Al Rucker, and my co-host for today is Nikki Woods.
For today?
For today.
What do you like, renew my pass every week?
Nah,
Like, maybe she'll be back, maybe she won't?
No, she will. 7 is out today. He has a gig. He got a text. I guess he got something going on important.
I was like, well, he could call. He could check in. You know, like family, let us know what's going on.
Knowing 7, he's probably on that West Coast somewhere.
Right. Well.
I mean, at this point, we probably don't want him to check in.
Yeah.
Knowing 7, he won't be 7 that we know.
Yes.
Well, we got a lot of things going on. So what we got going on today, Nick?
Well, we are going to talk to one of my favorite people in the entire world, Art Chat Daddy Sims from Chicago. He is an influencer, but he just loves everything entertainment. So we're going to chop it up with him for a little bit. And then also we're going to power up with Asa Laveau. He's going to tell us why our passion may be our problem. Now, I'm not sure like what passion we're talking about, but we're gonna learn from Asa, and then we're also gonna talk about holiday fashion a little later on the show with Out Front. So a lot of good stuff. Plus, we've got a lot of great music.
I can't wait for that. Fashion.
Holiday fashion.
Holiday
is like,
fashion.
Now is the time to start thinking about what you're gonna wear for New Year's Eve. If you have that Christmas office party, like, because women, we gotta shut it down. So.
Yes.
We've got an expert that is going to help us do that. And plus, we've got a lot of great music, including this one next with Wifey. One of your favorite songs, or no?
No.
My favorite song.
This yours.
I don't think men really. I think women just love this.
No, not
yeah. This is like our anthem.
But hey, if y'all like it, we love it.
We're going to get into that right now on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. Nikki Woods and myself, Al Rucker. Nikki, who is this young lady we have?
Well, she is a entrepreneur. She is an influencer. She's a producer. She's a best-selling author, and her brands, her collective brands have reached over 1 million people with transformational training, coaching, and support, establishing her as the go-to expert for purpose-driven entrepreneurs. She is the brainchild behind Coach Speak and Serve, which is a next-level consulting firm and a community on Facebook, and also Women Recharged. But today we are talking to Miss April Franks about National Adoption Awareness Month, which is in November. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
And she's my boo thing. So
she's
my boo thing.
Okay.
So, but and I know her story, and I think she has one of the most fascinating stories when it comes to adoption. So start and tell us a little bit, because you are adopted, not to just spoil the whole story, but you're adopted, but then you also have adopted out a child as well. So let's start with your adoption process as a child. Tell me what that was like.
Well, I was, well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it. And I absolutely am passionate about this topic, obviously, because it's my life. So I'm always game for adoption talk, especially in the African-American community, just because it's like shunned upon and we don't really talk about it, although we've been raising other people's kids for forever.
Yeah.
So for me, I actually found out I was adopted playing a game of Monopoly with my mom, dad, and my little brother when I was 10 years old, living in Rucker Heights, Texas. My dad was stationed at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. He was in the Army, and we were playing a game. And my mom just suddenly says, I have something I want to talk to you about. And, I'm 10. I'm like, okay. And she says, you're adopted. And I was like, and so I said, you mean like Willis and Arnold, right? Because the Different Strokes was on, and that was that I had heard of. And she said, yeah, like Willis and Arnold. And I said, oh, okay. And that was literally it for a couple of years. So when I turned 12, I became more inquisitive. I'm like, oh, hell. She said, adopted.
It hit you.
I'm like, that means I came from somewhere else. So it really didn't dawn on me, that somebody else had me, and then my mom and dad was raising me, and right. So that's kind of how it came out.
And so how did that then affect you? Because I've never even asked you this question, but your little brother, is he your parents' biological, or was he adopted as well?
No, they adopted me first because initially they thought my mom couldn't have kids. And then after they adopted me, they got pregnant and had my little brother.
Right. And I just wanted to go into this little, part of the conversation, because we were talking the other day about the term birth mother. And you you said some things we can't say on the radio, but tell me what your feelings are on the term birth mother. So I was careful to say biological. I don't even know if you hate that too, but tell me about birth mother.
I think biological that's factual. Birth mother is a term that people have given that. I just think it's disrespectful. I think it's dismissive of the mother, and as if you're only a mom at birth. Because you've elected to make a decision. You have carried a child to term, had the child, made a conscious decision to continue life with the child and to place the child for adoption. I just think it's disrespect. I just can't stand the phrase birth mom.
So fast forward, because then you also had a daughter, and then you had another daughter that you chose to give up for adoption. Tell us about that scenario.
So I was 21 and was dating some troubled
dating one of your projects.
I'm 42 years old. I've evolved, but when I was 21, I was like most young and dumb 20 and 21-year-old girls, looking for love in all the wrong places. And I was dating one guy and pregnant by somebody else, and I already had a daughter. And I was like, this is not a good time. And for me, and the truth of the story is, I wanted to abort, and I made 3 appointments to do so. And each time the appointment came, I just couldn't do it. And so I canceled, and then I'd make another one and I cancel. Because what I was wrestling with was the fact that I knew that I wasn't in the position to properly take care of 2 children. And so then after I kept canceling the abortion appointments, I said, let me just make a different choice. And so adoption was it. And so I started an adoption agency in Dallas, Texas, A Cradle of Hope. Shout out to them. And they're still in business today. And I contacted them. I moved to Texas and I started the process.
And so just fast forward, what are the relationships like now? Because I know that you've talked to the woman who adopted your daughter, her other mother. And so where were you with your biological mother, and then also your daughter that you gave up for adoption?
It's interesting. So first, let me say, of course, when I made that decision, everybody Black was like, oh my God, how dare you? How could you? My mother was like, I'll keep the baby. My family was like, I'll keep the baby. And I was like, no, this is a decision that I'm making for myself. Where I am with my biological mother is she's just not, I met her when I was 20 years old. I always knew who she had the ability to meet her. I just chose not to. And once I turned 20, I did. And she's just not the type of person I want to be connected to. I don't deal with people like her. I don't hang around people like her. I made the decision that once I placed my daughter for adoption, that when we were reunited, and I knew that we would be, that I didn't want her to be disappointed and that I was going to be somebody, and that was just a decision that needed to be made at that time. And to answer your question about her mom, I chose her parents. It wasn't like, I had the baby and they snatched her away and I didn't see her. I spent several days with her in the hospital, and we've been in communication her whole life. So I've gotten pictures twice a year, letters. We've built a relationship with that family. And so it's really been a fantastic experience.
And recently in Chicago. You met your daughter for the first time in person.
I did. When she turned 18, a few years ago, she sent me a friend request on Facebook. I about died, had a whole meltdown.
I remember that day too, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And then finally we met in Chicago. She is just a brilliant young woman, and she's the cutest little thing. And I'm just so happy to be her mom.
And we're running out of time, but I definitely want you to weigh in, because one of the things that you said earlier that has always struck me is the fact that, in the African American community, this really is taboo. But like you said, we're always taking in, other family members' children, or they're staying with us. Why do you think it's taboo, and what message would you like to leave with our audience?
Oh, that's really good. I think it's just taboo because it's unfamiliar. It's kind of the legalities of it all. It's okay if you're raising, your sister's kids your whole life, but don't call it adoption. Don't say you adopted them. It's like this taboo. It's like it's almost like the word adoption means you weren't wanted in some way, and that was never the case for me. And I think what I would like to leave with women is for us just to make better choices. I think we can make really stronger decisions and not end up in those predicaments where you have to make that type of decision. I think that a lot of decisions that we make, below the waist, we need to start making above the neck. And I think that when you do come to, a crossroads and you have to make a strong decision that, you just want to be empowered that you're doing the best thing
Absolutely.
for you in the situation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. You can connect with April Franks on any social media platform, but especially on Facebook, where she has her community Coach Speak and Serve. And we're actually going to have her back because she's got a movement that's starting in the new year that I want to talk more about, but we don't have time to do it today. But it's called Womanly-ish. And it's going to be hot. So I am super excited to have you. So thank you for enlightening us about adoption in the Black community.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Al.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I actually thought about adoption like 5 years ago because I wanted a daughter. And I thought that would be a good way. And then I was like,
no, not for you.
No, I just like my kids are already microwaving. It would be like starting over. So we got a lot more show on the way. We have Out Front. We have Ask Al, also Ask of the Week, and much, much more. A lot of great music. So thanks for hanging out with us. And we will be back right after this on the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. And we're at that segment we call Hot Topics. So, Nikki, what's going on? What's hotter than hot?
Man, these wildfires in California, it's like every year we hear about this. Like it always seems like it happens every year. And I really was not paying as much attention. But in the past few days, if you just look at, just how many people have lost their houses and how many celebrities have, like the whole Kardashian family, like all of them, like their houses are gone. Caitlyn Jenner, all of them.
And that's crazy because that particular area is pretty much wiped out the whole town. The whole town is kind of like gone.
It's gone. And there was an actor, and I can't remember his name right off the bat, but he was videotaping as he walked up to his house, and as you just see, it's just like, it's not even a structure anymore. It's just rubble. It looks like a war bomb site, that somebody dropped a bomb. And so they said that, so many people, so many celebrities, and, I just was not aware. I've talked to like 3 people today who had casually in conversation said, oh yeah, we were evacuated, but we're good now. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
It's like, it's crazy.
Yeah, that area, and I visited that area not long ago. So just to see what I saw on television is amazing to witness. Like I said, I've been in that area several times, and just what I saw and some of the pictures that you see, some of the firemen, the pictures are like, it looks like a movie.
It does. It does.
It looks like a straight movie, but
they said at least 42 people have died. They said this is the deadliest in state history, and that it spread so fast that you couldn't even save stuff. And that's like the worst thing about fires. Not even just losing your house, which is traumatic enough, but like all your pictures,
everything.
all your memories.
Yeah, everything is gone. Yeah, I saw even when they were showing it on the news, how the wind was blowing the fire and how fast it was traveling. Just on television, it was just moving very fast. So I can just imagine what those firefighters were going through and what can you do?
Nothing. You can't do anything.
Yeah, on just to throw a little humor with it, I had a friend of mine who lives in the LA area, and he said, man, I'm thinking about just building a pool around my house.
Right. One of those moats. Is that what they call it, a moat?
Yeah, he said he's going to build a pool around his house.
That isn't a bad idea, but then it's like the earthquake will get you or some mudslide or something.
Yeah, but I thought
that's not a bad idea.
I said, man, how would you get to the house? He said, I'm just going to build a bridge.
Do one of those drawbridges and just come down and let you across.
And if the fire comes, I'm going to just blow the bridge up. So
my
said,
goodness.
You're crazy.
But it's extremely scary. And I can only imagine like leaving your house intact and then coming back and it just be rubble.
But what would you, if that did happen and you had to evacuate, what would you grab first? besides your kids and your loved ones? What
Well,
would you
I don't
grab?
even know if I grab my. No, I would grab my kids first. You know what? I'm not really like a memory person, so I don't have like a lot of photo albums and that sort of stuff. So I really don't have. I have some furniture. Like I have a piece of furniture from all my grandparents and stuff like that. That's the kind of stuff I would try to take. But that's big stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
big stuff. But if you just had to grab something real quick, what would you grab? So you don't know what would you grab? I don't have an idea. What
I mean,
would
I
grab
have
first?
one photo album that my mom put together that's like of me as a baby and my kids as babies, and just it has like a lot of collective memories. That's probably the only thing I would try to grab. Other than that, I'm good.
Yeah. I don't know what I would grab. I mean, I grab my laptop for one. Got to take your laptop.
Got to take your laptop.
Don't grab.
so
you don't grab your
connect.
phone. Those are the few things.
Those
you
are
know
the
you're
few
gonna grab.
things that you
But
got.
what would you actually grab? I mean, it's like
That's such a hard decision.
Yeah, it's like you have only a few minutes, to evacuate.
That's
So what
such
would
a
you
hard
grab?
decision.
Wow. But
So another story that I wanted to share with you, I'm not sure if you've been on the news today, but there was a story that came out of Midlothian, which is right outside of Chicago, about a security guard who was in a club.
I saw
You
that.
saw that?
I read it. I saw it this morning come across my
There was
timeline.
another shooter that had come in to the bar. The bar is Manny's Blue Room. Had come into the bar. The security guard had detained the shooter and had him, in custody, I guess, for lack of a better word. The police show up. The Midlothian police show up and kill the security guard.
Kill the security guard. Yeah.
Kill the security guard. So, I mean, just a little for those who don't know the area, Manny's Blue Room is in Robbins, Illinois. And my mother-in-law used to bartend at Manny's for many, many years. And so literally I spent every weekend there for like 3 years.
Wow.
And also that's in Robbins where Dwayne Wade is from. That's where he grew up. So just really sad. It's like I just I don't understand the level of hate that you would, and maybe I'm just assuming, but he was in uniform, so it wasn't like, so how do you just shoot to kill somebody and not even ask a question?
I think at this it's based on the times that we are right now. I mean, based on what's going on in America right now, from our president all the way down, they don't have. It's kind of like we're gonna shoot first, ask questions later. And they have that right. I believe our president has set the tone for America to do what they want to do, because the things that he does is unheard of. We say 44 could have never got away with half the stuff he's doing. So I think at the end of the day, 45 has set the president for the country that he can do what he want to do. So you got people doing what they want to do. It's kind of like this morning I heard, and I can't think of the young lady's name, but she's running for Senate in Mississippi. And she basically made a statement that, hey, if hanging,
She's our ass of the week. We're going to talk about
oh,
that.
is she?
Yeah,
Okay,
she's our
my
ass
bad.
of the week.
Well, I gave it away, so you already know. But I'm just saying. So that just sets the tone.
It does set the tone.
It does set the
so.
tone. All right, my apologies. I didn't know.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. But and also we're gonna talk about this in a little bit. Ice Cube has come out with a new song called "Arrest the President." So we're gonna play a clip of that and talk about that too. But it is just a sign of the times, and it's just really scary how freely people are, like this U.S. sitting senator is expressing themselves in the hatred that they feel towards people of color.
People of color. I mean, it really is a shame, and really we have to educate our kids on what's going on in America right now. And it's kind of like history is repeating itself.
Absolutely. So we will be back. We're going to talk to Art Chat Daddy Sims out of Chicago about some of the other entertainment stories that are going on. Also, Ask Al is on the way out front, and a lot of great music just for you. So stay tuned. We will be right back with more of the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. Nikki Woods, myself, Al Rucker, and we have a special guest, and I'm going to let you introduce him.
Well, I mean, it's like hard for us because we go back so far, at least 20 years, right?
Wow.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, little known fact, Art threw my the baby shower for my first son.
Wow.
And he did it with a vision. He had all of the women in media in Chicago there for this. And so we had people like Tamron Hall, who is now, a national news anchor. There were so many people there, Gene Sparrow, Robin Robinson. So it was phenomenal. But that's how far we go back.
Wow.
And I saw the picture.
And guess what? I just found the pictures the other day.
Did you?
I'll have to get you some pictures.
Please
I will.
do.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
Share those pictures. I want to see
Yeah,
those
I will.
pictures. I want to see those
I
pictures.
found those pictures the other day. I've been digging in the crate.
Oh, good for you. Because I saw the picture of you and Jean Sparrow on Facebook from, I guess you were at an event recently together.
Yes.
So Jean is a Chicago staple too. She did middays for a long time, and now she's back in the market doing some stuff. So
Well, I'm
really
excited.
cool.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Al is like a big Chicago person too. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of us in Chicago soon.
Good. Good.
Yes.
We look forward to seeing you both.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are the hours that Jean's on? Or Art is on?
No, Jean is on Saturdays now, but Art, you do what, 5 to 9?
I'm on Monday through Thursday night, 6 to 9 p.m.
6 to 9.
6 to 9 p.m. on WVON in Chicago, which is the nation's oldest black station. Is that right?
You got that
Yeah.
right, absolutely. And our president just scored an interview with our former first lady.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, our former first lady's in town tonight to premiere her book. This is the official kickoff.
That's what's
And
up.
so our president has been granted an exclusive 30-minute interview with our former first lady.
And that's
man.
Melody Span, right? Is she the president?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know
Melody
she was
Span
like the
Cooper.
owner, what her official title is.
Yeah. She-
Melody
look,
Span
she
Cooper.
She the head diva in charge. That's all you need to know.
But
That's
you know
it.
what's interesting is like
Wow.
I tell people all the time, like I'm sure Melody and Michelle did tons of things when Michelle was
Sure.
still in Chicago.
Yeah, that's probably why she got there.
So it makes sense, especially with this book, that she goes back to VON, which is like absolutely a staple in Chicago and in America. I mean, it really is leading the forefront when it comes to black talk radio. So, so awesome.
Yep, we're very excited about that interview.
Well, let's stay right there for a second on Michelle's book.
Yes.
So this is the first lady to do a national tour on her book, and she's doing it on stadiums. Where's it being held at, Art?
It's going to be at the United Center tonight.
Yeah.
It's absolutely sold out. I've talked to a couple of people who said that they have like seats in the rafters.
Wow.
And
And
everybody's
happy
so
about it.
Yeah, they're happy about it.
And
Oh,
happy
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to be in the room. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? I'm jealous. I have to work tonight, but it is the hottest ticket in town tonight. Of course, tickets were one price. Brokers got them, and I understand that people are paying thousands of dollars just to go this evening to talk and hear and all that great stuff.
But
That's
you know what I
amazing,
think
though.
is amazing about our former president and our former first lady, even though I think we still claim them because they're still that great, is they've always been like that. So it's like, even I remember when Barack, when he was senator, first came up to GCI, when he was just thinking about running for senator, and he came up in his first interview. Crazy Howard McGee, who was the morning show host then, and Tony Schofield and I, we all
Right.
just kind of sat back like, oh my goodness, like this dude is brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Michelle was the same way. I mean, I had done panels with her, and you just kind of sit and look at her like, this is excellence. I don't even want to call it black excellence. This is just excellence.
No, it is.
you know?
For me, I think from what I'm seeing, since Barack and Michelle are not in the White House, I believe the attention they're getting is much, much bigger now since they've been out the White House, and they have such a bigger impact, especially Michelle doing this book. And you just imagine Barack's book is coming next, and he's going to do the same thing.
Well, you know, there's a competition right now to see whose book would be the best book, whether it's his or hers, and hers dropped first. And of course, everybody's gonna support her. But then when he drops his, it'll be the same. But I think the magic that we're seeing is that they really were two everyday regular people. They did not come from wealthy homes.
Yeah, not at all.
They did not come from oil money. They didn't come from any of the other accoutrements that other politicians have come from. They came from just everyday, regular, humble beginnings.
Yeah.
Hold on, you write that down. Accoutrements. We're gonna work.
Accoutrements, darling.
Okay, I'm
Accoutrements.
sorry.
We
We're
just
we're
at least
work
gonna
that
write
in.
that down.
Yeah,
Write
right?
that down.
We're gonna work that into the conversation.
Spell it.
Yeah, we can't spell that.
But you know what?
We're gonna do our best.
I also thought it was so fascinating because with every single president, there has always been some kind of scandal, some kind of story that has come out, something that has made us go, huh, you know, and looked at them maybe a little bit differently. Even though we may have still loved him as president, because I loved Bill Clinton as president, but Lord, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But that
Right.
never happened with Barack. I mean, other people tried to say things about him, but there was really nothing that ever came out about him or Michelle or the family, period.
but
that
the thing,
would tarnish
and
their...
I think the thing, not to cut you off, I think that set Barack apart. Like you said, we all admire Bill. Bill came in the White House with dirty laundry.
Yeah, that's
a
true.
lot of the people, a lot of the guys,
That's
a lot of the presidents that come in the White House, they've already had a career, long background in politics and had some kind of scandal went around. I mean, even when you go back to JFK, everybody that came in the White House had some problems.
True.
The problem with Barack, I think, scared a lot of people was outside of Chicago, we never heard of him. In the South, we never heard Barack. And all of a sudden, you got this black man who's running for president, and he has a clean background. Background.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. You never saw that before.
And it's like, I think...
Well, now, not to cut you off, Nikki, but here's the funny part about all of this. There are black men and women out here who really do have clean backgrounds.
Yeah.
And really do want to do something good for the betterment
Absolutely.
of mankind. And I think people just have a really hard time believing that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to find, though. It's hard to find that. It's hard to find someone who has when I say clean background, to be president, you got to have great credit. You got to have everything. So you could probably throw a rock in a big pool and find one black
person.
man and excellent credit. You can't have no blemish.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. You stay right there, Art. We're gonna come back and we're gonna chat with you some more, Chat Daddy. And I didn't give your official bio, so I want to do that as well. But stay tuned, because we will be back with more of the Al Rucker Show. That was good. Very good. I'm glad you brought that up.
I love you guys. Great job. Excellent job.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, well, what's the station we're going to be on in Chicago? What
I
is
don't know.
It's 95 something. I can't think.
The one that Lamont flipped?
95.1.
Yeah, we're going to be on.
So you going to be my nighttime competition?
No, we're going to be 3 to 7.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
And how many days a week?
5.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we go national syndication January 1.
But that has not been released yet, Art.
Yeah.
Well, it's been released on
I got
Facebook.
you.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll be there
Look,
a
I tell
lot.
people, 4 years in the game, I don't worry about competition anymore.
No, it's all love. No, it's all love. It's all love.
There's room for everybody.
It is a ton of room. And like I said, we're at a different time slot than you anyway.
Look, if y'all was broadcasting in Chicago, look, I may be sitting in that chair next to you.
Well, I mean, you're not really our they're two different formats. So you're not our direct competition se. So you may be sitting in with us, Chat Daddy.
Oh yeah. No, ain't no maybe.
Right.
No, ain't no maybe. We're gonna make sure he's there. He's there with us, helping us out.
Yes. Hello.
That is too funny.
I'm
look,
gonna rely
as they would say, I'm an independent contractor.
Okay.
I'm gonna rely on you and I'm gonna rely on him. Because I've been hearing a lot about the Chicago radio, so I gotta get ready. Everybody's been telling me, like, Al, they say it's a beast.
It's a beast.
They tell me.
Is.
So I gotta get ready. Y'all gonna have to teach me.
Yeah, we got
we don't want to have. I don't want to have no issues and no problem.
All right, let's do this second one so we can get on out of here. You ready?
So we still in hot topics, right?
Yep.
All right. All right. Cool. Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. You got myself, Al Rucker. You got Nikki Woods.
Yes.
And we got Art Chat Daddy Sims.
Yes.
What's up, my man?
Even though I told you about our personal relationship and we're all friends now, I do want to tell you that, I mean, when I walked into the studio, I was like, we got a Chicago staple.
Yeah.
It's like the only person that I think is more cemented in Chicago is George Daniels. And then there's you, right?
Oh, yeah, George, yeah.
Yes.
Then there's you. And so he is just an all-around fantastic guy. He is currently the drive time host on WVON, which is the oldest African-American talk station in the country. He has been recognized as a social dynamo by Monarch Magazine, Who's Who, all of that stuff. But just an all-around great guy. And, of course, knows everything there is to know about entertainment and the gossip, which is why we called you. And the gossip.
And the gossip, huh?
And the gossip. So recently we had the People's Choice Awards, and I think the most surprising thing was Artist of the Year. So we were looking at like Cardi B, we were looking at all these people, and Nicki Minaj walked away with it.
Are we surprised though?
I think I was a little surprised. I mean, Cardi B had a great year. Ariana Grande had there were a lot of great artists out there. And so even though I think Nicki is a legend, you know, compared to some of these other people. I don't know if I thought her year was as big as theirs.
Not at all.
Not the year.
Cardi B really did have a stellar year. We've got to give her credit from the birth of the baby to just one hit after another. But I think Nicki Minaj and her antics this year may have pushed her in the forefront of people's minds and thinking, because I kind of thought the same thing too, that I really was looking for Cardi B to maybe get it, but it ended up being Nicki Minaj, and it was interesting.
You know what? And I was talking to my kids about that because they were like, they were talking about how, you should be voting and it should be fair. I was like, it's really a popularity contest.
That's what it
they
is.
don't look at like how many albums you sold. I mean, it really is, when it comes down to it, a popularity contest.
But I believe Cardi B was more popular this year, especially with the younger people.
Well, I don't know, but we don't know who's voting.
If there is a vote.
We don't know how many.
May not even be voting. Who knows who votes?
Somebody got to vote.
Not really. Who knows?
We don't know how many envelopes Nicki Minaj passed out to people.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It's the holiday season.
Yeah, because she did have an album this year, right? Or was it last year?
I thought it was. Did she have an album? I thought it was last year. I don't know. That's
how
much I
know.
How
many hits did she have this year?
I can't name one that she had this year. I know she was on a lot of people's stuff this year.
Was it the Pink album or something like that, or Queen or something she came out with?
It was the Pink. It was the Pink album, but I thought that was 2017.
No, she just came out with one not long ago.
I don't know. But she won the People's Choice Awards.
Yeah.
Were you guys big Marvel fans?
I am.
Well, actually, we talked about this last night. Yes, of course, Black Panther, the probably the best movie of all time. But when we think about the life and legend of Mr. Lee, it takes our entire childhood. I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all know superheroes, whether male or female, was a huge part of our childhood. And just to have such an icon like that pass, it was just breathtaking.
Well, he was 95, so I mean, it wasn't. Even though I think it's sad, it wasn't like a tragic thing.
But he's been sick too.
No,
but he's been sick. But you know what I love about social media now, that when celebrities die, is you get to see like all the cool photos. Like Ava DuVernay shared this whole series of just her kissing him.
Yeah,
I was like, this is so weird, but it was so cute at the same time.
Now, did you know? Now he did a cameo in all the movies.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But he also pre-recorded for future movies. They have a whole section of cameos that he's already
that they're just going to work into new movies?
They're going to work into new movies.
Right.
Because
there's supposed to be a movie released, is it this year or next year?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the debate was we were having yesterday. And he will definitely be featured in the next movie that will be released.
Yeah.
So Al is absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, yes. He actually recorded a lot of cameos.
And so this is kind of off the topic, but not really. But they just released a movie by Orson Welles. Did you see that?
Oh, no.
On Netflix, of all places.
No.
Really?
The last movie that he was working on, he didn't get to finish, and they just finished it. They did a documentary about finishing this movie, but they just released this movie by Orson Welles on Netflix.
I might check that one out.
It's like Walk on the Other Side of the Wind or something like that.
Well, Art, the problem with that is she has an advantage. She's been binge watching Netflix movies over the last couple of days because she couldn't
haven't
sleep.
been able to sleep.
So of course it may have just dropped yesterday. Right. we don't even know about it yet.
She just been stuck in front of a
I
television.
Exactly.
Right. We don't have that type of life now. You know what I'm saying?
We don't know.
Oh,
So,
my
She's
goodness.
beautiful, and she has time to watch Netflix.
Right, Netflix. I mean,
Who does that?
and it
Woods.
was funny because my
Right.
son was like, "Well, what do you do?" I was like, "I watch Netflix and chill." He's like, "Mom, that's not what you're doing." He's like, "You just up watching Netflix. Netflix and chill is something entirely different." I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to do a segment on you and this insomnia. What is that about?
I just every once in a while I'll just be up and I'll get like 45 minutes. I was at the gym like at 2:30 this morning.
Oh no, you crazy.
What?
Yeah, you crazy.
Because it's just frustrating to be at home and not be able to sleep. So I was at the gym watching Netflix.
Oh Lord.
I know, it's sad. It's sad.
Well, this is a children's show, so I will tell you what you need to do to go back to sleep. But
Netflix and chill. Clearly, it's not the way that it's supposed to be done, not the way I've been doing it.
See, Al, I was gonna go with warm milk, but you seem like you seem like something else, that would have milk with, put it
Okay.
Oh.
Well, I mean, it's been so good hanging out. We will have to have you back to chop it up
Anytime.
with you again. Yeah, we love it. I mean,
and I'm gonna hit you when I get to Chicago in a couple of weeks.
Please do. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on with both of you. Great show. I'm looking forward to the future of what this show will bring. Radio is an amazing business, and we need more dialogue from diverse people.
Absolutely.
And you two, I think, will be the key to it. I'm honored to be a part of this, and whatever I can help you guys with, I'm always available and ready to help you out.
I appreciate it. Well, I'm going to lean on you in Chicago, both of y'all. When I get to Chicago, I'm leaning on both of y'all.
Well, all right, well, bring your wallet with you now.
Yeah.
Okay?
I got you.
Bring your wallet. There's plenty of places we gonna take you now. Don't get here talking about, well, I left my wallet now. We gonna show up and show out.
Let's do it then. We gonna do
all
it.
Right.
I'm gonna look at when
Thank
I get there.
Guys.
All right, you can follow Art on all the social media channels. Just Google Chat Daddy. I think he's Chat Daddy 1 on Instagram, Chat Daddy on Twitter, and then you can find him under Art Chat Daddy Sims on Facebook. Also, make sure you check him out when you're in Chicago from 5 to 9?
6 to 9 p.m.
on WVON 1690.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Thanks,
Beautiful.
Art. Love you.
Thanks. Love you guys. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
All right. We are going to power up next. We're going to get some tips on why I guess how to fix our passion from being our problem or something. We'll figure it out. Asa LeBeau is going to be in the house to help us with that. And so lots of other great stuff coming up, including an entire second hour of the Al Rucker Show. So stay tuned. We will be right back.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show. Nikki Woods, Al Rucker.
Yes.
And we got a segment for you today.
We are powering up, and we have Asa LeBeau, who is absolutely one of my favorite people. He's an international professional speaker, 2 times best-selling author, decorated combat veteran, and awarded entrepreneur who has the capacity to make a difference for you and your organization. He is also known as America's #1 queer entrepreneur coach. Now, this is new to me. I didn't know this part.
I want to know how did he come with the title?
Well, and I want to start at the beginning because I think it's interesting. When I first met Asa, you were in the straight space. I'll say that, right? I mean, it's like publicly, church-wise, you were straight because you talked about girlfriends and finding a woman and that sort of thing, right?
In a bit, before I do anything, let me just say first off, because I'm from Oklahoma, we speak to everybody in the room.
I'm
My
sorry.
mama would.
Okay.
Now, to everybody, Mr. Rucker, hello.
How you doing? What part of Oklahoma you from?
Oklahoma City.
Okay. I got people from Oklahoma, so that's why I asked.
Good. And everybody else that's listening, hello to you too. I will not be ashamed to my mama and not speak.
There's about a couple of million listening.
Yes, so thank you. So to all the millions of people listening, thank you. And I'm just going to say this now. If you're not following Asa or connected to him on social media, definitely do that. He has the most thought-provoking Facebook post I think that I have ever seen. He sent an email the other day just to tell everybody he loves them. And I appreciated it. So he's just a phenomenal person and a phenomenal spirit, and that's why I wanted to have him on. But then we were talking about this other piece of it, and so I wanted to share that because I think social media has made it an interesting way to learn about people. And as I said, when you and I first met, and it wasn't too long ago, three years, maybe 3.5, 4 years ago, you were in the straight space, and then fast forward a couple of years, then I was like, oh, okay, he's bi. And you came out on Facebook, and well, go ahead and tell it your way.
Yeah, I want to hear it.
Tell it your way because you're cringing. Go ahead.
So for me, it was a continuum of coming out. So being grown up in the Church of God in Christ with parents that were both pastors at some time in my life, you don't just room out the closet. You get dressed in sections to come out. You just don't bar that door open. So you come out in waves. So yes, I was married for a time with a woman, had a son who I call my S-O-N and my S-U-N. And then from there, broke the relationship and then went to another. And then I started to identify, you know what? I made men and women make the same sound when I touch them. So that's a real thing now.
Wait a minute. What?
You heard what he said. We're not going to repeat it. You heard it.
We got to go back to that.
Okay.
Repeat what you just said.
He said that men and women make the same sound when he touches them. That's what we got. But my real question for you, because Ace and I have never had this conversation. I mean, I follow him on social media, and I appreciate all that he does and love him no matter what. So that's not ever a question. But how old were you when you knew? Were you an adult, or did you know as a child and you just pushed it back because you couldn't live that kind of life?
I love that question. It was not until I was 30.
Wow.
I actually knew, because when you grew up in Church of God in Christ, that's not even a possibility. That's like growing up in a house in the South and you think there's something called a vegetarian. That's not even possible. You're going to eat everything on this plate.
What?
That's funny.
What you eat? Funny. What are we talking about?
So 30 and literally, and I don't want to get too into your business, but at 30, what happened?
Okay, you said what happened?
Yeah, like at 30, what happens that makes you realize that, okay, maybe I like both sexes?
At 30,
Family show.
At 30, I had ended another relationship, found myself stationed in Fort Bliss, Texas, in El Paso, and fell in love with a man for the first time in my life. Like literally fell in love with a man, and I had no idea how to do this. I was questioning myself. I immediately thought, you know what? I'm probably going to hell in this moment. I had no words, no skills to deal with who I was becoming.
And so then you started to identify as bisexual?
Totally. So for those of you who are not familiar, the LGBTQ plus world, yes, bisexual is the thing. And no, it does not mean greedy or confused.
Just means that you got a lot of options.
Hold on. But explain that, though. I need to understand that part right there when he said that. You're not being greedy. So you being bisexual, you men and women, right?
So yeah, when someone identifies as bisexual, that means they're saying, look, there are women who are beautiful to me romantically and or sexually, and there are men who are beautiful to me romantically and sexually. And I have the ability to fall in love with either of them. It doesn't mean that I am now quote unquote promiscuous. It doesn't mean either. It means that I am open to being in love with one or more genders.
So what do you identify yourself as now? Because at the beginning you said your boyfriend is gay, but you're not.
As bisexual. If you ask me, well, I thought you had a boyfriend. My boyfriend is gay. I am not.
You are bisexual. He is gay.
I am. He is gay.
Does he have a problem with that?
Yeah.
Does he have a problem with you being bisexual?
Not at all, because he gets me out to himself.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it's like, because a cute girl might walk in the room. Is he giving you the side eye or no?
Not at all. I will say that to be in love with me, to co-create life with Asa Laveau, you must be able to stand in your own right that you are with me. That whole being insecure, that doesn't work well, especially with somebody being an entrepreneur. I'm out of the country doing speaking engagements. I do not need that.
I was going to say, he is a total social butterfly. So
this is, it may sound dumb. So in a relationship like yours, who is the female and who's the male? No, listen.
See, he's going to answer.
Yeah, he's going to answer.
See, I totally thank you for asking the question, because people really do want to know that. However, two things: it negates everything who we are intrinsically, and it negates everything a woman is intrinsically.
Okay, so with you being
a woman, and if I wanted a woman, I'd get one.
No, okay, so now with that being said, do you let that woman know that you're bisexual?
Oh, totally upfront. I think that is probably one of the most irresponsible things, to not let everybody know upfront what's happening, what they're getting into. It's your job to inform them, and then you give them the grace and the space to choose.
All right. Well, you don't go anywhere, Asa, because we obviously have a lot of questions, and I honestly, Asa is really one of the best people I know to ask these questions, because you're so open and honest, and all of that. So we're gonna keep you, and we will be back. We've got a lot more on the way. We're gonna start the second hour, and then we're gonna finish our conversation with Asa Laveau. You guys don't go anywhere. We will be back with more of the Al Rucker Show. I love
But
you.
no, that's a question that most men would want to know.
Most
We want to
people-
know.
What?
No, we want to know. And I know it's some questions I can't ask while we on the radio. But when he says that I'm bisexual, he identifies himself. He lets the woman know. And the question that, as a man, I would want to know: are you the female or are you the male in the situation? And if he says, I don't know, did you answer that question?
Well, he said that it negates
I
who they
negates
are as
that.
men.
I didn't answer the question the way your listeners may have wanted me to, but a better way to clarify the question is, sexually, are you someone that receives or are you someone that gives?
So which one is it?
Yeah. So that in gay world or LGBTQ world, it's called a top or a bottom or verse. A top is someone who gives, a bottom is someone who receives, and a verse is someone who does both.
So is that like a dominant and submissive thing? So like if you receive, or you consider the submissive?
Hell,
You
you
could be
tough.
You could be
Okay.
a dominant bottom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dominant bottom.
Yeah, we're learning a lot.
Okay.
We're learning a lot.
See, now when he's, again, I may be stupid. I'll take that. When you say bottom,
You know what he means.
no, I don't. I'm trying to figure it out because
When you're
you-
having sex, who's on the bottom?
how you gonna be on the bottom if you're a man? You gonna be in the front or the back?
No.
Huh? Oh Lord! Seriously?
I'm going to draw you a diagram.
No, I'm visualizing what you're saying, but I'm trying to figure out how you on the.
In a doggy style
Oh
scenario.
my Lord!
You asked the question.
I did, but I'm learning. I'm
I'm
thinking.
trying to
I'm
give
thinking.
you the-
I'm thinking. When you say you got two men having sex, I'm thinking one's in the back, one's in the front. I didn't think they were actually on top and the bottom of each other.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Well, I mean, that's really one of
Boy,
it.
nigga learn
You're going to
a
be
lot.
educated.
Okay, let's get back on here quick because I got. Let's go.
Wait, before we do that, I was
Wow.
watching this thing, and now there's like an intrasex. There's like a third gender that they're recognizing in Germany.
And actually, there has been intersex for over hundreds of years. And what has been is people are so ridiculed for being born not particular one sex, and then the parents are forced
To
most times
choose.
choose for the child,
Right.
and that actually does just damage to that child because they're not able to choose for themselves.
Cells, right. Okay, all right, we're coming back.
We coming back. Let's go. I'm learning. You just took, like I say, I ain't.
Your own personal tutorial.
No. When it comes to this, I'm dumb. I'm stupid.
Well, we need
ignorant.
to get you up to speed.
No, don't get me up to speed.
What? No, let's leave it for hot topics. I don't know why every once in a while it does that.
Yeah, it's like a delay for some reason. but-
No, actually, let's do. How much time will we have out of the first break? Because I don't want to delay it too long. So out of the open reset, how much time do we have for that first break? Okay, so we got to wrap it up in 5 minutes.
All right.
Okay,
let's go.
we got 5 minutes, Asa, and we'll have
Got
you
it.
back to talk about passion.
Yeah,
is
we
your
gonna-
problem?
Yeah.
We'll have you back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning back into the Al Rucker Show, and still with us is Asa Laveau.
Asa Laveau. He is an entrepreneur. He is a speaker. He is an author. He is a military veteran, and he is talking us to. He is our power up guest, and I really want to keep this in the power up focus. So, based on your experience, especially in this social media world, what do you say to other people who may be hesitant about coming out or revealing their choice for a romantic partner?
So I will say this: in your own time, do that, and when you feel safe. So I give that in a very broad, because I understand that I grew up in Oklahoma, and to be 16 years old and to come out and to have a business that may actually be a life or death scenario for you, and now may not be the best time to let the world know. But if you find yourself in a safe space, in a trusted space, yes, please feel free to do that, because I will say there is a freedom that comes when your customer, your client is able to not just love what you do, but who you be to your core. And that's why I did what I did.
And so you talked about growing up in the religious household, and is your mom a minister? Do I have that right?
My mother's a pastor.
A pastor. So what is the relationship or the acceptance that you've gotten for your mother, or how did that work for her? I guess.
So my mother, growing up Church and God in Christ, she was very, very rigid to it. She thought she was liberal to the idea, but when it's your own child, the person that you gave birth to, things began to flip a little bit. So it took a little time. It wasn't violent. It wasn't a very friction event. However, it took some time for her to be comfortable with, like, this is the person that I'm choosing to co-create life with in this moment. And now she's totally fine. The person I'm co-creating life with now, they've met, everything's okay. She does ask about him, he asks about her. And it's nothing.
I hope they've met. You plastered them all over Facebook.
And I waited to plaster him until and he's met my son.
Oh, wow.
So how does your son feel about that?
My son, when I told him about LGBTQ, I've been telling him about that since he was around 5. I took him to his first Pride. And when I told him who his daddy was and what his daddy was, he took a moment, looked at me and said, "Daddy, I'm straight." And I said, "That's great. You don't have to be bi or gay to be beautiful, to be valued, to be different, to be special. You can be just what you are. And please know that if that ever changes for any reason or if it stays the same, your daddy got your back."
But you know what? It really is a different world. Like, my sons have friends who have 2 mothers and 2 dads, and it's the same. You know, you just go over their house, and you know, it's just what it is. It's just kind of a different world for them growing up. The question I now have is, how does your son's mother feel about it?
My son's mother is a lesbian.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all ruined each
y'all,
other.
Yeah.
Y'all ruined each other.
Yeah, that's the.
But I wonder if that was just the energy attracting each other.
No, it's just something else.
We were high school sweethearts. We were literally high school sweethearts that went from high school to being married to being divorced. So I will say, she identifies as being full lesbian. I actually adore her partner. She has her partner is legit. They live in the same house. I adore her partner's daughter because she was also married before. So it's nothing that keeps energy from stopping. There's no love lost here at all.
That's amazing. That really is amazing. That really is amazing.
That is.
It's like we got exes that can't get along because of, you know, the photo album. So that's awesome, Asa. I mean, you know how I feel about you. So.
Again, how did we get to the title? How did you come up with that? Why did you come up with that name? What's the name of his
We're talking about America's #1 queer entrepreneur coach.
Oh, for so long, I've had other businesses, but my passion comes from helping people start businesses. Ever since I was 22 years old and I had a fraternity regalia store in Crossroads Mall in Oklahoma City selling Greek paraphernalia. From that time forward, I knew that people ask me, "So Asa, how you do it? You're 22 years old with a store. How did you do that?" Me being able to tell people how to do it and tell them quickly without all the foo-foo, the BS that goes along with it, that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I love to do. And then luckily running into people in my life that taught me how to monetize that. And now, so my thing was, yes, I was helping people start businesses, but I wasn't clear about who I was doing that for. So that's one of the things that when you understand your passion, you have to have a high level of clarity on who you're actually meant to be for. Because anytime you're sucking in your sales, I'm going to tell you you're not intimate with the person you're meant to help solve problems.
All right. Well, Asa is working on the 2nd Oklahoma Black Business Expo. So you guys stay tuned for that. You can learn more about that by following him on social media. Like I said, he has a phenomenal Facebook page where he just asks all sorts of great questions. But he's also on Instagram where you can see all his cute pictures because he has this one. He has this picture where he has his shirt off. And he's got all these muscles. And I was like, Asa been hiding all of this for as long as I've known him. And then he just showed up like, pow. So anyway, follow him on Instagram, follow him on Facebook, and we will definitely have you back so that we can talk about our original topic that we had you on for. But we're so glad that you were open to having this discussion with us. So we appreciate you.
And thank you guys so much, and dreams and blessings to both of you.
Oh, thank you.
All of us. Yeah, absolutely. So we're
going
to solve some problems with Ask Al. That's on the way. Holiday fashion with Out Front. And then we are going to talk more about the Ass of the Week. So a lot of great stuff.
Yes, we do. I can't wait. Good speaking with you. Can't wait to talk to you next time. I got a lot more questions. Thanks,
Asa. Thank you to you guys for hanging on. Stay with us. We will be back with more of the Al Rucker Show.
Thank you for tuning into the Al Rucker Show. You got Al Rucker, that's me.
Yeah.
You got Nikki Woods.
That's me.
And we are going out front with
Leah Frazier. Out front with Nikki Woods and Leah Frazier. Yeah. So you got to say that's me.
So we're going to start it again.
Okay. No, we're not. No, we're not. So we are going out front. One of the things that I've been wanting to talk about is holiday fashion. And so I found the best person to talk about it. Her name is Leah Frazier. She's a leading fashionpreneur. And she was also recognized as one of Dallas's 39 most successful women for 2015. In addition to this elite recognition, she received the Rising Star Award for Fashion Blogging by Fashion Group International of Dallas in 2017, and she was nominated as one of the best journalists of 2017 by Cosign magazine, and it just goes on and on and on. But she's a phenomenal entrepreneur. She also helps people with media coverage, and she's gonna help us get our life together when it comes to our holiday fashion. So welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
We are well. So when we think of holiday fashion, what are some of the things that we need to keep in mind, especially for 2018?
You know, I'm really excited because some of the staples that you think of with holiday fashion still kind of apply. So you still have your sequins. I mean, they're actually all over the place now, especially for women. We're now seeing them in form of the power suit, which I get really, really excited about. So this is something that for New Year's, even those Christmas parties, if you're not really wanting to wear a traditional dress, I'm seeing a ton of designers that are tapping into the sequins and the glam, but in, the power suit, so we can bring that femininity to it and be comfortable. That's most important.
That is so funny. I went to this little after work mixer, and I wore the cutest it was a black sequin skirt, and and I just put a denim shirt on with it and just a little tank top, and people were like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing. And I had no idea I was doing something right that I was supposed to be doing. So sequin.
You're on trend.
Yeah, I am on trend. So
you're setting it.
That's awesome. So do people still, stick to some of those rules when it comes to office parties about what kind of attire you should wear, or is it kind of just festive?
It's so funny because I just had this discussion with Ken Downing with Neiman Marcus, and we're just kind of fashion's in a state where anything goes. It's kind of whatever you want to wear. It's seasonless right now. It's even trendless. But in terms of, office attire, yes, people still keep it pretty festive with sequins and even embellishments and, heavy accessories, jeweled accessories, because it is that holiday time where people want to be glitz and glam. But fashion overall, I mean, it's kind of do whatever you want right now. It's really crazy.
So what do you say when you work with clients? Because I've had stylists before, and I think that you guys have a vision that we don't always have. And so sometimes they'll come to you and they'll be like, bam. And you're like, no,
Yeah, exactly.
And so how do you help, us, expand our vision for fashion? Because I really think that it's not always what you wear, but it's how you wear it. So how do you help people expand, their confidence too, to wear some of the things that you might want to dress them in?
Well, the first thing that I do is I do take a look at their current closet because it gives me a lot of insight into what they like. Maybe there are certain color schemes or certain styles that they gravitate towards. But I also try to push my clients a little bit to be a little bit more edgy and to have a little bit more fun with it. So just a simple exercise of going through magazines and telling me the first thing that captures your eye. So that could be a Beyonce, or maybe Michelle Obama just had a fabulous shoot with Elle that's all over the internet right now. And there's a lot of women that may want to wear that can't, but maybe we can take little pieces of that fits your personality to help you kind of beef up your wardrobe. It could be just the belt piece, or maybe it could be liquid leggings versus, jeans. But I try to adapt it to the client's personality where it's not a total, complete, culture shock. But that also fits their body type as well.
No, and I love that because I think that some people think that just because it's been made that they should wear it. So do you coach your
No,
you coach your clients? Okay.
So the whole athleisure thing with the leggings, and I had some guy friends that look, leggings and jeggings are not a real fashion thing. Like, just get rid of it altogether. And there's some people that do need to have a longer, top over that because you got a little bit too much junk in the trunk. But yeah, there are things that just aren't made for your body type, but that's okay. We'll find you something just as fabulous that is. There's plenty out there.
And I think it's fascinating to see when somebody does dress you according to your body type, how much better you look and how much better you feel when the parts should be, accentuated and some that should not be accentuated, and it goes like that. So.
Right. And even with women, I feel like our number one thing that kills us the most is undergarments. So something as simple as just having a great bra to take off 2 sizes or to lift or, to have better posture, like that helps with slimming and even just like toning down that midsection that we all kind of have trouble with. Most women I work with, they need a lot of help in that department.
They opened up a professional bra place in Chicago when I was living in Chicago, and I went. I mean, it's like one of those French, places. Yeah. I was like, we've been doing this wrong our whole lives. It's like, I don't know who taught us how to bra, but we have been doing it wrong. So it will change your life.
It will. And I mean, if you get it done the right way, you will notice changes immediately with the way your clothes look on your body. So I recommend that for every woman to get that done.
All right. One last quick question, because this is very self-serving for me, but one last quick question before we let you go. Can somebody have too many clothes in their wardrobe?
You're asking.
I'm asking me? The fashion. Yes, I'm asking you.
I mean, yes, you can. I mean, if you notice that you're not wearing items, I had a client I would shop for every single season, and nothing would drive me crazy more than when I would go back the next season and everything would still be there with all the tags on it.
You'd kick me if you came to my closet.
But I did everything for that woman. I took pictures of everything together. I showed her 50 million ways to wear it. And so yes, in that case, if you realize you're not wearing half of your closet, then don't waste your money. Buy pieces that you can take and maybe flip it and wear it, 2 or 3 different ways. So yes, Nikki, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So absolutely follow Leah on social media at theleahfrazier.com. You can also catch her in some of the current JCPenney ads. She's a model as well. So I think that's awesome. Yes. So we appreciate you. We know that there are no trends. You can wear what you want to wear. Yes. Al, you're good?
Wear what you want to wear, Al.
I do.
Yeah, I was going to say he does.
I do. And I look good when I wear it.
Because that's that confidence.
I look good when I wear mine.
We don't tell him when he looks crazy because he feels
awesome. They hate. It may look crazy, but it's expensive crazy.
Oh my goodness.
It's one of a kind. It's one of a kind.
Whatever. Thank you, Leah.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, guys.
There you go.
We appreciate it. We'll have you back to talk more for more fashion. So thank you so much. All right, a little bit of show left. We have Ass of the Week coming up, so stay tuned for that. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us, and we will be back with more of the Al Rucker Show.
The Al Rucker Show.